It's already happening in some ways. Having a friend, if you don't have one, I think a lot of people who are in old people's homes, they're actually introducing some kind of interface where they can talk to an AI, giving an opportunity for people to have someone just to talk about their day. It makes a big difference. I personally don't think I would use it for that, but that's powerful.
You nailed it, man.
Five cool things you could do with ChatGPT. All right. I got 3 of them. If you guys want to come up with some more, we'll just make this video 5 cool things. But hey, if we go up past 5, there'll be bonus rounds. All right. The number 1 cool thing that I was blown away by is the ability to write code. My son, his birthday was just yesterday. He's 7 years old now. And he got a Mac for Christmas. I got a MacBook Air because he wants to play Minecraft Java Edition. Because there's the Bedrock edition, which is, PlayStation, Xbox, iPad, all that stuff. It all kind of works together. The Java edition is for like Mac and PC. And on the Java edition, you could mod it with code, right? So you could do a lot more. So when he watches YouTube videos of people playing Minecraft and they're doing all these crazy stuff, like they're using the Java edition, right? So I put ChatGPT, I bookmarked it for him on Chrome. And so now when he wants to do something, he just types in the prompt that he wants and he gets the code. It's crazy. Even he was just like, wow. So this idea of like writing code, fixing code, writing scripts, I've been playing with this. Crazy to me that like you could just now type in, like I'm just so like, that's amazing. I've always hesitated to having a tech startup because I need a technical co-founder, right? My thing was, even if I hire someone to write the code, I have no way to know if it's good. But now I can, right? Now I can ask ChatGPT, is this, the right code? I got to figure out the right way to ask the question. I always say this about, why I don't like doing online courses anymore. Because if you know the question, you could find the answer. But most people don't know the question. So if you know what question you need to ask, now the fact that I can basically ask like a technical advisor, is this code written correctly? Is this going to work? Or whatever the question might be. So I think the ability to write code and some people might not know this, but there's a GitHub. I think this whole ChatGPT thing was started with GitHub and being able to write code. That's how it was originating. The second cool thing is telling stories, especially like bedtime stories. I've been doing this with Marcus. We always do this thing before bed where I'm like, choose 3 things. And then I create a story. I just like go on he'll just literally say like a tree, a rabbit, and chocolate. Then I have to tell him a story that connects the dots, right? It's just like a fun thing we do. So we started doing this with like ChatGPT, and just the stories it was telling us, like we were both just laughing so much at the creativity. He like gave me a topic here. I have it on my screen. It was like boy trapped in a MacBook, and it just tells a story about how he's trapped in the MacBook. And then it got like, he says like the boy had to like unplug the Mac in order to get out. Then we're like, if he was in the Mac, how did he unplug the computer? And then it like gave us like a reason of how he would do it, and then it's just like this whole, like, it was like really trying to justify, how it like came to the conclusion, how he got out of the MacBook. And then at the end, I'm like, is this a true story? And it's like, no, sorry, it's not a true story.
I wonder if it took any inspiration from Jumanji. I'm immediately thinking Jumanji when you said that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I think that was really fun because it's like now we just kind of come up with like crazy stuff, put it in there. And the fact that it's actually telling us like a coherent story that's like, got some humor in it. It's very creative, So I think that part's really fun. And then the other one is life advice and navigating through difficult conversations. So I thought it was interesting. I was going through some challenges in life, needed someone to give me some advice and started asking ChatGPT. Gave me like legit.
What did you ask?
I forget.
What is there a question you can share where you feel comfortable? Like,
no, actually I deleted it out of the thing. Otherwise I would show you, but maybe it was like how to stay motivated when you're going through a breakup, and then it would like tell you, something, and you can like ask it more questions, and it's like giving you legit advice. I also find what's funny is like I always feel this like need to like politely ask. I always say, please tell me in a more simple way.
I say please too.
Yeah. Sometimes I write and I'll be like, tell me it. And I'm like, that's kind of a rude way to talk. And I will like, I find myself always going back and starting with please. I feel like it's not going to give me a nice answer because I'm like too rude to it. So I always like try to be polite.
Do you guys have Alexa? Do you use Alexa?
I have a Google speaker and it is, I mean, they're not smart. I mean, I hear people complain about Siri a lot, but I don't find them that great.
That's what I'm sort of hearing, because like, again, Alexa tries to be nice to you. Like it says, have a good night sometimes. And it's a robot. So it's like, it can be agitating or it can be nice depending on your mood. I do actually not, again, I want to break your tips here, Matt, but the idea of a vocal interface to the quality of ChatGPT, I think that's Star Trek, right? That's when you're on, computer, do this for me. So
Of course, that's going to be crazy. Like, I am not polite to my Google speaker. I'm screaming at my Google speaker because it's not, it's like now, I mean, anyone's got Google speakers, like they're so not smart. And I have so much stuff that I do not like.
I would rather be polite to our AI overlords before they take over, and I think they'll remember. I think they'll remember who was polite.
I agree what Andrew says. I think AI is great for humans and I am all for it. Matt, I suggest you stop abusing your Google device. It's not nice.
I don't think he cares. We're not friends. Guys, let's give us 2 more. We're just going on a whim here, okay? Because we made this 5 cool things you could do with ChatGPT. I give you 3. Write code, tell stories, life advice. What do you guys got?
I love the aspect that I immediately have added an assistant, another team member to my organization that immediately makes myself and my other team members more efficient, more productive. I'm going through a scalability problem in my organization. I have more work coming my way than I can handle. So I'm constantly looking for ways to improve efficiency in my workflows and be able to deliver top-notch services to my clients, because they come to me because they want above average results, right? They don't want mediocre average results. They want above average results. I have a track record of doing that, but it's very high touch when you're providing done for you services for people. It's extremely high touch. And in some cases, it can be very time consuming. So ChatGPT, number 4, an assistant, an immediately valuable assistant to my organization that improves our productivity.
I have 2, maybe 1.5. I think one of the best uses, and frankly, Matt, you've already said it at the start of this podcast, is the idea of adding data points to content. Because I used to have this formula from writing blog posts where I would open with a story from my own life. And to your point previously, Matt, that's the part that AI can't really write.
Yeah.
Because I lived it, and it's me hooking the reader. It could be just how I made money from something, or how I solved a problem within my company, or even something completely out of context of business, which I then would tie back into my business. Like, I saw the latest Marvel movie and they made this choice. So I would tell that story for like half the article. And then the second half, I would always switch into like a teaching mode. So, the 3 things you can take away from this to apply to your business. And what I always gave those articles that final extra push to go from good to great was referencing research, often some kind of psychological data point where you could say, this is not just me saying that, this is not just me living it, this is what the researchers found from the study they did at yada yada university that backs up this human behavior and why it works. So I think that was like a 3 point, actually it was a 4 point. It was story, lesson, back it up with research, and finally was a call to action at the end. Join your email list, buy my product. So many of my blog posts were written with that formula. But the annoying part was I was finding the research data points to back it up. So I think that's one of the greatest things, if we can rely on the sourcing of the AI. Where are they pulling this data from? And
You could always ask where it's getting it. Yeah.
well, it should be something you don't need to ask for. I think this is coming, like they're talking about getting sued at the moment, where it just needs a bibliography. When you get this question, here's where I pulled that little thing at the end. It's already happening in some ways. Having a friend, if you don't have one, I think a lot of people who are old people's homes, they're actually introducing some kind of interface where they can talk to an AI. And I don't know the context, but when you're lonely and maybe you don't even understand it's an AI, or you're not, like, it's a computer, I'm talking to the computer, it's okay, giving an opportunity for people to have someone just to talk about their day, it makes a big difference. I personally don't think I would use it for that, but that's powerful.
You nailed it, man. That really is a huge, like, have you guys ever seen that Joaquin Phoenix movie, Her?
I love Her. Great movie.
It's a fantastic movie. Like, that's what we're talking about here, aren't we? Like, that's, a lonely person who is just looking to experience some connection. And like, you nailed it, man. There's a lot of lonely people out there. Hell yeah.
That idea of having the earbud where I could be talking to my AI throughout the entire day and forming a relationship with it, it's almost at the level now, because look at you guys, you're writing please and thank you to it, like it's got like feelings.
You're right. Because over time, as it like kind of can get to know you, because now every chat, it's like has context, right? You don't have to keep referencing your first question, right? You could just like, whatever, you get the idea, right? But imagine like the whole relationship with your
collective experience of with it.
Yeah, it like kind of it knows what you do for work. It knows what you like to eat. It knows, all these sort of things. So when you ask a question, it's contextual to you.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Can you imagine like it asks you, how was your day, Matt? And it knows you had a breakup the previous day. How are you feeling after that yesterday,
Or it looks at your calendar, it knows what you're up to, right? It could hear you talking, like this whole conversation, knows everything you talked about on the day.
It's actually scary a little bit.
It is, especially when it comes to, your data leaking, right? Because what happens when this chat knows you more than anyone? And then what happens when, who knows, one day you see yourself in court in 10 years from now, and they're like, well, let's ask its chat, how this person's thinking.
Because they won't forget. Yeah, our memories aren't perfect, but our AI, our personal assistant, you have when you're born and is with you all the way until the day you die, it will never forget anything that you've ever experienced. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have the best memory in the world, and sometimes I get those questions, and I'm like, oh shit, what is today, honey? I don't. I need a little reminder. Why is today so important? So yeah.
I can see this becoming a Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
Someone hacks your AI memories to say that you on that day you murdered someone, and you're like, I didn't do that. Well, the AI said you did, and it's a perfect memory of your life. So
that is a scary thought. That's a very scary thought.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.